Hey everybody, welcome to my workshop. I'm Mr. J. Today I'd like to share some tips and tricks I used on creating a project. And today's project is a speaker stand for my JPL speaker. I've had this speaker for some time now. I really like it. I listen to audiobooks and music while I'm working. The only downside, it rolls. So I decided to come up with a basic speaker stand. And I'd like to show you how I did that in Corel using two basic shapes, a square and a circle. Let's get started. So welcome again to today's project, a speaker stand for the JPL speaker. Materials that we'll be using today will be a 1/4 inch Poplar Wood, 2 3/4 1032 screws, and 2 1032 square nuts. I'm going to warn you ahead of time, this is my first time on an iMac computer, so I recently just switched from a PC to an iMac, and wasn't expecting any Corel changes in the software, but there are, and a lot has to do with the shortcut. Examples would be like we normally use the P key on the keyboard to center the project. Now you have to add a Shift and P to center onto the page. But with that said, let's get started. We're going to lay out our page first. I'm going to use a page here, 12 by 12, and you can see that on the top toolbar here. It's laid out for 12 by 12. I'm going to pull out some grid lines. So we'll pull out a grid line. We'll say Shift to P for the vertical center, and for a horizontal line, we're going to say Shift P. For the left and right side of the speaker stand, I used the circle to create that. So now that I got these lines out, I just want to make sure I have the Docker tools I'm going to be using for this job. And on the right side toolbar, I'm going to be using a transform tool. I'm going to be using the corner tool or the fillet tool. And you can set that up on your computer by going to the bottom right corner, clicking on these 3 dots, and your Dockers come up. And that's only one way. The other way is just going to the menu under Windows, and that'll drop down in a moment. Under Windows, under Inspector, and there's your Dockers. You just select the tools you're going to use. So today it's going to be the transform tool and the corner tool. So going to the left side tool, we're going to select the circle tool or the ellipse tool, and we're going to draw a circle. I'm going to hold the command key down to constrain, and I'm going to hit Shift P to center. Now I'm going to size this to 2 3/4. Go back to my transform tool and select size, and we're going to say 2 3/4. And make sure your proportional is selected so it sizes it equally in the X and the Y direction. Alright, there's our first circle. Alright, we're going to make one more circle. We're going to say copy this circle, and we're going to make it 1 inch larger. So we're going to say 3.750, and we're going to say apply. So now we have our 2 circles, and I'm going to hit my pick tool up here, and now what I'd like to do is select them both. So I'm going to use the shortcut key Command A to select all, and then I'm going to say combine using the shortcut key L, and now they're combined together. You also can find these tools combine and break apart under objects. If you look under objects, your command tool is not lit because I already combined this, and this is your break apart. or break apart curves. But I'm using a shortcut key, so I'm using the L, I'm using the K to break apart. So what I'd like to do is cut this, and the way I do this, I know there's other ways, is I use a polyline tool. So I grab the polyline, I'm going to create a line through the circle, and this is going to act like a knife or a cutting tool or a trimming tool. And I'm going to say Command A to select everything, and then I'm going to go up to my trim tool on the top toolbar, and I'm going to select trim. Alright, and I'm going to deselect everything, and now what I like to do is just get rid of the polyline tool that I use for cutting this. So I'm going to delete that. Alrighty, now that we have that broken apart, I should say, now that I deleted the polyline tool, we can break this apart. So I'm going to select our circle here. I'm going to use the shortcut key K to break apart. And now they're broken apart. So I'm going to deselect all and just select the upper portion. I'm going to grab it by the outside circle node, and I'm going to connect it to the lower half of the circle inner circle node. Now you can see our shape taking shape. So I'm going to select everything, Control A or Command A, and I'm going to say weld. Alright, so Shift P to center. All we're going to do now is add radiuses, and we're going to use our cornering tool over to the right here, and we're going to use this 250 as the radius for our left and right side of the speaker stand. So we'll just select that, apply, and all of our corners are now radius. The next step will be adding 2 rectangles to locate the center support. So we're going to just grab the rectangle tool on the left side here, and we will create the rectangle that locates the center support. And the size for these are 3/8 by 1/4 inch. And they're 7/8 apart, so I'm going to go back to the right side. I'm going to use my transform tool. I'm just going to offset 7/8, and that's 875. And we'll copy that once, and there is our 2 rectangles for locating the center support. So I'm going to grab my pick tool so I can select them both, and then I'm going to move them to my center. And finally, we're going to put the mounting hole. We're going to go to the left side toolbar here, select circle, use our command key, command to constrain, and then go to transform tool under sizing just to size our circle, and this will be 187. And I'm going to use my Shift P to center to the page. And the final step will be Command A to select all, and then Command L to combine. And that completes the left and right side of the speaker stand. Alright, now we're going to make the center support, and the way I used made the center support, I just used a rectangle. So we'll select the tool, the rectangle tool on the left side of the toolbar. just stretch it out, and then I'll just dimension it on the upper toolbar. So I'm going to say 5" by 1 1/4. I'm going to say Shift P to center to my page. And now I'm going to use another rectangle to cut out the keys that locate the left and right side onto the support bar. And by using the same tools above, the tools weld and trim, I'm gonna trim this rectangle out to have the keys to locate on the left and right side speaker mounts. And finally, I'm going to put the nut support that's on the center of the support bar here, using the same rectangle I used to cut the keys out. I'm just going to reshape this to another tool for trimming. So I'm going to shape it a little bit like a cross, as you see in the example of how the nut is supported on the center support. Just need to make another rectangle, and the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to rotate this and copy it once. So go to the transform tool over to the right. I'm going to select rotate. We're going to rotate 90 degrees, and we're going to copy it once, and we're going to say apply. And I just have to redimension that to another size. Now I'm just going to select both of these, and then I'm going to use my weld tool. Now this tool here, I'm going to use that as a knife or a cutter or a trimming tool, however you want to say that. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it down here on the center support. I'm going to select both items, and I'm going to trim. Unselect it, and I'm going to move it to the other side. And I'm going to say select all, and I'm going to say trim. So there you have it, using a rectangle for the center support, and using a rectangle to do all my trimming. I finished this project, and now we can laser cut it and assemble it and see how it comes out. I will add, there is still a little bit of glitching going on with the Mac version of Corel. I don't know if that's something on my lack of experience, and I'll have to figure that out. But I didn't think this was too bad on the Mac to draw. I did have to organize some of my tooling that I already have organized on my regular PC on the Mac version. So we'll keep you posted how I like this compared to the regular PC. So with that said, let's finish the project. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. And if so, give us a like. Please comment below. We'll see you next time. Keep lasering.